Live right now here on the WHAS 11 Night Team, we take you to Washington, D.C., where you are looking right now at this moment at the public visitation for former President Jimmy Carter, who of course lived to 100 years of age. He died on December 29th. This is the first day of the public visitation. It's going to wrap up in under an hour right now at midnight. There's been a steady stream of people and admirers today. Starting tomorrow again at 7 in the morning. He was taken to the U.S. Capitol in a horse-drawn procession today, and members of Congress paid their respects first during a ceremony earlier tonight in the Capitol Rotunda. Jimmy Carter's funeral is going to be Thursday morning at Washington National Cathedral from 10 a.m. to 11:15. It, of course, is going to be seen live right here on WHAS 11 and ABC News. Well, Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer who became the 39th president of the United States. The honor today is his casket pulled by horses to the Capitol, his family walking right behind. Inside the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, lawmakers honoring Jimmy Carter, Senate leaders from both parties laying a wreath, House leaders doing the very same. Jimmy Carter will lie in state for 2 days before his funeral again on Thursday morning. All living presidents are expected to attend. Well, people gathered to say one last goodbye to the longest living president, including everyone he touched through his faith. Jimmy Carter's personal pastor tells us how they met and who he was as a person.
Tony, this is Jimmy Carter. I just wanted to tell you how much we appreciated you coming yesterday.
The call that started it all. It was in 2018, and Pastor Tony Loudon preached a sermon the day before about love at Maranatha Baptist Church, President Carter's church in Plains, Georgia.
I was blown away. First, I pulled over on the side of the road because I had to make a decision. Do I call this number back? Do you call the 39th President of America back on his cell phone? What do you do? And so I finally got up enough courage to call him back.
How could Pastor Loudon know that phone call would lead to a call to service and a friendship like none other?
I really don't even call myself his pastor most of the time. He's my friend. Miss Rosalind was my friend. Every time I go to see him, he asks me 4 questions. Where have you been? What have you done? Who have you helped? And how can I help you help them?
And when Pastor Loudon was called to work in criminal justice reform years later, President Carter had one question for him.
Are you still going to be my pastor? Because that means you have to come on every weekend and you have to minister to me and continue to be my pastor because we made a commitment.
A commitment the president and his pastor keep to this day.
I try to make every time I go down to see him a good day.
It's not always easy. Have you even let your mind go there when he is going to meet his Lord and Savior? How do you think it's going to be for you?
That's a tough one for me. Because we have such a bond. Selfishly, I don't want him to go. I would love to see him make it to 105. I know that one day the Lord's going to say, well done, my faithful servant, come on. You've done enough.
Pastor Loudon wants to take the lessons he's learned from the Carters and pass them on to his 6-year-old daughter, Tabitha.
We always play with them, and I always bring orchids to Miss Rosalind.
It's not too early for us to teach our kids about being a servant leader.
And to his future congregation at Jabez Ministries in Byron.
We're going to look at ways of saying, how can we help you? Where have you been? What have you done? Who have you helped? And how can we help you help them?
A legacy of servant leadership, a call to serve those around the world, around the state, and those closer to home. A call Pastor Loudon continues to answer.
Thank you very much for coming. This is Jimmy Carter. Bye-bye.